What is up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Jason with devslopes.com, and in this video we are going to learn how to install SASS, and then later in the video we're going to compile it into CSS. So let's go ahead and get started. Now if you're on a Mac, go ahead and open up your terminal. If you're a Windows user, go ahead and open up your command line. I'm going to zoom in on this so you can see what I'm typing here. Now, in order for us to install SASS, we need to make sure that we have Ruby installed. Now, if you're a Mac user, Ruby comes pre-installed on your Mac, so kudos. And then if you are a Windows user, simply open up your browser and head on over to rubyinstaller.org/downloads, all right? And then you're going to pick the installer package here and get it installed onto your system. All right, so now that you've installed it and everybody's on the same page here, let's go ahead and install SASS. So to do that, we're going to simply write, we're going to install a gem. All right, that's why we're using Ruby. So we're going to do gem install SASS. Now, I'm probably going to get an error here. All right, and that's okay. If you do get this error like I just did, no big deal. Go ahead and sudo gem install SASS. All right, sudo just gives you more of administrative rights and kind of makes you like a superhero to do cool things with your computer. And then go ahead and input your password. All right, so we've got SASS downloading now, and it's still going, and it's installed. So perfect. So we got one gem installed. Now, what we just did is now that we have SASS installed, what we can do is we can set up a watcher to watch our SASS files in our project, and then anytime a change is made to that file, to that preprocessor, it's going to compile our SASS into CSS. All right, so it's really, really cool stuff. So why don't we go ahead and be really cool and use our terminal to create a project for us. So go ahead and change your directory onto your desktop. All right, and then we're going to create a folder here. So we're going to do a make directory, and let's just call this SASS. And then inside of your project, change directory to inside of it. All right, and oops, not la, we want ls. So there's nothing in here, so let's go ahead and create some files. So we're going to use the touch command, and we're going to make an index.html file. And we can actually throw in our SASS file as well on the same command. So go ahead and create a styles.sass. Okay, we're not creating a CSS file, we're creating a SASS file. And go ahead and hit enter. Now, in this section, the text editor that I'm going to be using is called Atom. All right, and in some of the previous videos or other things that I've done, I've used brackets. I've recently switched to Atom. I'm testing it out, and so far I really, really like it. So point being, just open up your text editor, whatever one you're using, all right? I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. So let's go ahead and open up text editor here. All right, so I'm getting Atom over here, and then I'm going to go to File and Open. I'm going to jump to my desktop, and we're just going to open the project that we just created, like really cool programmers through our terminal. All right, and then in the index file, go ahead and set up your HTML template. So take some time and copy this down or just build your own, no big deal. So I just set the title to SASS here, and then inside of our body, just throw in a simple header tag. I'm feeling sassy. Cool. All right, I dig it. And then also, in order for our styles to connect to the browser, we need to link our soon-to-be CSS file here. All right, so go ahead and link your soon-to-be created style sheet, which we're going to call it styles.css. And then we'll just put the relationship here to a style sheet. And then you can go ahead and close that off. Now, remember, we created a SASS file, but SASS is a preprocessor, and we're going to be compiling it into CSS later. So the browsers only read CSS, hence this is why we're still traditionally linking our CSS file in our header here. So now that we've got that the same, and we want the names to be the same, go ahead and open up your terminal again. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up a watcher on our SAS file. So to do that, make sure that you're in your project, and we list this out. We are. You can see we've got the index and the styles.sass here. And to set up our watcher, we're going to type in SAS -- watch colon, actually not a colon yet, and then here we're going to throw in 2 arguments. The first one is going to be our SAS file, so it's styles.sass, okay, and then we're going to add the colon, and then on the other side of here we're going to tell this watcher what to compile our SAS into, which is our styles.css. All right, and go ahead and hit enter. Now, a couple of things happened here. You saw over here it generated a CSS file for us and this CSS mapping file as well. And then in our terminal, it wrote us the CSS file and the map file. And then it says if you want to stop this, go ahead and hit Control-C to stop. So this is cool. We have our terminal set up to watch for any changes that are going to be happening in this SAS file. So let's go ahead and make some changes. All right, so jump into the SAS file here, and let's go ahead and start with something simple. We're going to start with the body. All right, and with SAS, we don't use any of the curly braces or semicolons. So go ahead and hit enter, and then you'll see that it auto indents for us because it recognizes this is a SAS file. And let's go ahead and add a background color of, what should we choose here? Nah, we're gonna do this cadet blue. I like that. All right, and then that's it. Remember, no semicolons. Don't close this thing off. Okay, it's perfect. It's perfect. All right, and then go ahead and save that. Now, go ahead and open up your CSS file here, and you'll see that it created, it spit out the CSS for us. You can see we've got our body selector. It's got the opening and closing curly braces in here. It has our semicolon, and then it has this source mapping file. And what this is anytime that you make updates or changes in the SAS, it's going to spit this file out. It's really not that important. In the end, you can always get rid of it. So let's go ahead and actually open this up in a browser now. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hop over to the desktop into my project. I'm going to right click on my index file, and I'm just going to open this up with Chrome. And we've got our file in here, and it's looking excellent. All right, now let's go back to Atom, and let's add another style here. All right, I'm going to show you something else you can do here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create our first variable in SAS, and don't worry about understanding anything now. We're going to dive into this a little bit deeper later. And to create variables in SAS, you simply start it with a $, and I'm just going to put this, call it font color. Okay, and we've got a font color created, and let's go ahead and we're just going to set this to white. All right, so what we did is we created a variable, and we're now storing a value in it. So check this out. We can come over here. Oops. And let's just grab our header1 tag, hit enter, and we're auto-indented here. And let's just change the font color and go ahead and put in our font color variable that we created. Now this variable is horribly named, but we're using this for demonstration purposes right now. All right, so go ahead and save that. And in our terminal, you'll see that it compiled this again. And if we check out our CSS, now you can see that our header1 selector has a font color of white. So let's check this out in the browser now. Go ahead and refresh it, and we now have some white font. So pretty cool how that compiles, right? So that's just a quick taste of how powerful SAS is, and that in the future we're going to be able to create these variables and store these values in them. All right, now let's go ahead and do one more thing. Go ahead and open up your editor again, jump into your SAS, and we're going to go ahead and let's create a class here, and we're just going to call it circle. All right, and in this circle, we want the background color of it to be red, I guess dark red. Auto-corrected it for me. And then we're going to give it a height of 100 pixels, and we're going to give it a width of 100 pixels. And then let's throw on a border radius of, well, it's a circle, so we want 50%. All right, and then for fun, let's add a box shadow. And we're going to do a 0 vertical, 0 horizontal. Let's give it like an 8 spread, and we'll make it not black, but a dark color here. All right, so we've got that style created. Let's jump into our HTML and throw it in there. And go ahead and create a div tag with the class of circle, the one that we just created. All right, save that, and you'll see in here that it compiled. There was no errors. Oh, and that's also a really cool thing to note, is if you had a syntax error, like check this out. Getting off on a tangent here. Say I threw in a semicolon. First of all, it highlighted for me and was like, no, no, don't do that. And then I saved the file already, and then check out this. The terminal actually threw out an error for us. It says, hey, there's an error in your SAS file at line 15. It's invalid CSS. And look at that. It tells us exactly where it was, and it says that we have a semicolon and it expected nothing. So very cool. Go ahead and save that, and everything compiled perfectly. All right, so jump back into your browser, give it a refresh, and there you have it. We've got a red circle with this cool dark backdrop shadow to it. So that is SASS. That is how we install it, and that's how we set up a watcher so we can compile it. Let's move on.